Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Siege Cardinal League. We're heading right into Week 5 with a great match to start us off. It's going to be Team Remedy versus Unreal Nightmare, two of the more bottom-tiered teams so far. If you take a look at the standings, Team Remedy are at 10th place. Just behind them, or just in front of them, rather, will be Unreal Nightmare sitting at 9th. So both of these teams are going to need to do some work, and getting a win in this match is going to be crucial. But on the battleground map of Villa, it's going to be a long one. We always see Villa tend to get a little bit more drawn out than usual. What are your thoughts coming into this one?
Well, both these teams really have something to prove. They want to make those playoffs. They don't want to get put into relegations, get a chance at not playing in the Cardinal League next season. And so this is the map that can definitely start some sort of comeback. Both these teams are really, as you mentioned, relatively close in the standings. So this could very easily bring somebody down very far or help them propel up a lot farther. And Villa is a map that really allows teams to show their skill. It's one that requires planning, teamwork, and just a whole lot of coordination.
Right, and I think that's what makes it kind of a good hallmarker to see where these two teams are sort of positioned. If you take a look at our past week, Unreal Nightmare lost, and so did... Actually, no, Team Remedy didn't lose as well. Team Remedy was able to find their first win last week, playing against Claw. So they're in a little bit of a better spot. They're going to have that recent momentum. Taking a look, we've got the rosters up next for Team Remedy. Firstly, what do you really pick out from looking at this?
Well, really picking out is just they seem to be a little consistent, but mostly on the negative side. We only see the only positive KD on here is Lasky, and that's 10 and 8. That's +2. But overall, they seem to be very near each other, so that can be the hallmark of a team that is doing well. Obviously, you see Dennis not doing great, but sometimes that just happens. Sometimes you just don't find the headshots, but you can be a flex player, support player, like exactly what Dennis is.
For sure, and now taking a look at the Unreal Nightmare side of things, we are a little bit lost for data. Some of you may know that the Unreal Nightmare roster had a little bit of a switch up, and so they're coming into this with a few new players. 3 of their former members of the main team, which actually disbanded if you look at it, and now this is coming in from the Allen roster, I believe, are now playing for InControlNation, who will come up second tonight in our matches, and so that'll be an interesting one to take a look at. But for the data we do have, Breeze on the support role, he's doing all right. And with everything ready, we are good to go and head right into Villa just as soon as both teams confirm that they are good to go. What a game we've got ahead of us.
Yeah, having a whole new roster, we could see a stomp from really either side. We could see an unprepared Unreal Nightmare team. They haven't built that synergy. They don't have the strats, haven't had time to really coordinate with each other. Or we could see the exact opposite. Unreal Nightmare comes out of the gate super strong with these new players. We don't exactly know where they came from. We don't know exactly how long they've known each other, so they could be super coordinated and just absolutely beat up Team Remedy, who only, as you mentioned, got their first win last week. But that could really be a hot streak for them.
Right, and that's what makes this match so unpredictable. It really could go either way, and especially if Unreal Nightmare, they've got that coordination nailed down, this could be the start of something good. The Thatcher band to come out first, no surprise to anyone, I imagine. What comes up next, however, going to be the difference maker. I think if we see a Habana band, that's going to signal a more traditional game, but to see maybe someone like a Nomad or Capital, or even, somebody with nades, okay, there's the Capital. So a little bit less of the projectiles in play, and maybe we'll see a Wamai band. I've seen that trending upwards a little bit more recently, especially with how much of that utility game is in play here for Villa. Valk, okay.
Yeah, Valk, she's an overall operator that you can ban. So she's just able to put her cams in different spots, especially on a site like Villa. There's a little bit of cluster. You're able to hide those cams, and it's a very throwable outside map. And then we see Echo for the last ban, who we haven't seen actually being banned too much in higher tier Siege, but we're seeing that Unreal Nightmare is going to want to get him off the board now.
Yeah, and really just removing and punishing that intel game, I think, is probably the key ideas behind those two core bans. We don't see a whole lot of Echo on Villa just because there's so many steps that you have to deal with. Once you've got to a position where you're ready to plant, you've got the angles held, the last thing you really want to worry about is going to be those Echoes. We'll see a six pick, interestingly, from the Cade and over to the Wamai, and also on the attacking team from Maverick to Habana. So a little bit of strategical action. Heading first to Trophy Statuary, what do you think this is going to mean for the start of our defense?
Well, Unreal Nightmare, they're going to Trophy Statuary, and they're bringing the typical Wamai Jaeger. They're trying to get that castle shut down, depending where they're going to want to try to, an area that they're going to try to defend. We see a rotate come out from the Caden. That could possibly mean they're just trying to quickly get that, or they're trying to set up a really open site. I guess that's possibly a little bit of a meme, but it seems like right now they're trying to go for something a little bit unconventional with the opening of those walls. So it's just really what time will tell. But the only operator that really is somewhat out of the ordinary right now is possibly Breeze. But Alibi seems a little bit more play on a map like Villa.
Like you mentioned, the extension here into the master bedroom. This is something that's been trending a lot more, especially as teams are trying to do new things here for Villa. And this isn't exactly a new strategy either, though. The extension, running the Wamai now that he's available, as well as the Castle and Jaeger to protect yourselves inside of the master bedroom has trended a lot more recently. We'll see. Breeze is playing this quite aggressive on the Alibi. Could be rewarded. We'll have to wait and see. He rotates and gets cut down through the rotate inside of the gun vault. It'll be Warrior for the side of Team Remedy to strike first in our matchup.
Yeah, Breeze didn't exactly do much there. It seemed like they were running with like a chicken with their head cut off. And now Team Remedy has the upper hand. All we saw was Lasky dealt some HP, had some HP traded off, but they still got about 2 minutes. They seem to have roamers somewhat clear. They might be a little bit more cautious just to see if anyone's going to receive those drones kind of going out. But for the most part, the remaining members of Unreal Nightmare are on site, so we might see an attack here. And Team Remedy, but a great shot by Lunch. They're going to find the head of Lasky, and now it's evened up here as that proximity alarm is just going to tell them Unreal Nightmare exactly where Team Remedy are near.
So, with about 90 seconds or less here on the clock, there's plenty of time to get an execute going. We'll just have to see the attackers start to speed up a little bit. Waiting and holding these angles looks the plan for Unreal Nightmare, who are kind of just hanging out at the time. We saw the Castle taking down Zofia. That was a great pick. Shutting down her utility, her gunplay, as well as evening the man count, I think is a great step forward in trying to advance your team's position in this round. We'll see a magnet thrown out as well, so providing a little bit of safety from any projectiles should they be thrown in. And check it out, there's so much projectile capture technology there inside the statue. The floor open below the statue, but where you're not quite ready for the angle to shoot that player just on the left side, Warrior could get taken out if he continues to play this. Henry will find one, though Spiker with a disconnect will even the man count in a way. So unfortunate for them, but 3-3 with only 25 seconds. I think this plays out well for the defense, especially considering the fact we've got smoke. He's able to deploy those canisters, continue to waste time, and the attackers, they're going to start choking on them if they aren't capable. What a shot by Caden! What a shot! 2 for the SMG-11, and Henry to clean things up. Unreal Nightmare, they take round number 1.
Yeah, that SMG-11 kill, unwieldy. It can deal some great damage with some high rate of fire. Even though it's got a low magazine, we saw Smoke was using it wonderfully there, finding a 2, using that utility to waste off time, make sure that the attackers couldn't go in and plant that diffuser. And as we're going to a rehost, is there anything you could really gauge from that first round?
Well, I think the offense, they really had a lot of things going for them in the early rounds. They were able to take control of Aviator in games without much problems. We did see them catch that opening pick, shutting down Breeze, and he's the type of player where if you let him roam for the remainder of that middle round phase, he can really burn out the clock and create a lot of issues. And so getting that opening pick, getting that early control, I think really worked in their favor. But unfortunately, when we saw them start to approach the bomb site, they got a little bit stacked up, and it didn't seem like they had quite enough of a plan to get through. We did even see, the Ash, he went below inside a memo and tried to dislodge that player sitting on the statue, but just because of the circumstance, he wasn't able to spot the Wilmai. And so I think if you're redoing that attack, you need to consider possibly going for a master side take. I know that confronting that strategy right on its head where it's most strong can be a daunting task, but when you have a setup like that, you can't simply try to force in through the red landing because there's just so many angles that you need to watch as an attacker. You need to worry about flanks and, if somebody's going to nitro you from below or come up red stairs. And all the defense needs to do is just have a lot of faith in their setup, know that they have the right utility in order to stop you, and train their guns on those two doors from when you come in.
Yeah, and as we're waiting for the remaining for the lobby to get set up, we also have we have two games tonight. Remember that. We've also got the new In Control versus Troll Team 6. So make sure that you stay after this game because you got a double header, and the new In Control roster, you'll have to stay and see that.
Yeah, I'm personally really excited to see what they can do. It seems like since picking up those 3 former players from Unreal Nightmare, they've really been on a tear. I think they're, correct me if I'm wrong, but in first place right now. So they've been having a lot of dominance, and it really is almost at a higher level than what we saw from them last season. I mean, InControlNation, they were just absolutely on a tear, winning game after game with little trouble. None of their opponents were really able to stack up par for the Unreal Nightmare roster. And so, obviously, taking your biggest opponent in the team who struggled fighting against the most and just absorbing 3/5 of their roster, I mean, what a perfect way to just put yourself on a whole new level.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit daunting to kind of, we saw In Control. They won the entire thing, I believe, last season. And now they're in first place. They're really being very scary looking and in that first place spot. So In Control has to really match that and possibly even be better. So that's something that might just not be super present, but it's something that just possibly might nag at the back of your mind when in your first couple games.
For sure. And now both teams are in the lobby, and it looks like they're ready. So we will be resuming round number 2. And the question for me is this: will we see the defense go for another top floor setup? We've seen Aviator Games kind of slipping behind its primary status as it has existed in previous seasons, and teams are favoring defending dining a lot more, especially with a lot of teams trying to play the extension on the top floor with more utility and trying to waste more time up there. And we will be seeing it. Okay, I'm proven correct. Dining room, kitchen will be the bomb site. And we see the pulse, maybe a 6-pick going to come out from Breeze. He will go over to the Bandit, which is an operator that you're going to want on this site. So we'll have to wait.
Going to dining room, teams are getting more and more prepared for it because it's coming up more and more. So it's less of a surprise pick and more, are you testing to see if that team is just underprepared? It has gone up, but that doesn't mean that its pick rate is extremely high, but teams just still have to prepare for it. So they might, that might be the second thing that they have in mind in scrims and stuff like that. So, oh, excuse me, I am talking about the wrong side. I thought we were talking about the library. Stinky brain, that's me.
Go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna move on to talking about dining room, but you go
Okay.
ahead first.
Well, I was gonna say that the problem really when getting caught off guard with this bomb site is if you don't have the necessary amount of soft breach. We do see we've got Ash, we've got Sophia, as well as 6 breaching charges in total, 3 from Lasky on Zoph and Dennis on IQ respectively, so there isn't too much focused on one entire operator, but if you count them up, I mean, you've got what, I think maybe 11 or 12 total things that you can breach open, and so as soon as you go down, especially considering the amount of nitro cells we see constantly detonating below the dining room ceiling, it could be a real unfortunate thing. One other part to notice is the fact we don't have a Buck or a Sledge, and Buck can really be so critical because he's got those flashbangs, so you can waste ADS if somebody is trying to hold with a lot of the projectile denial utility from the Jaeger on the top floor, though we actually don't see a Jaeger in play, surprising.
Yeah, some unconventional operator picks. You usually would see something like a Sledge or a Buck being used, especially on first floor sites. But Warrior already claiming the opening again before a minute's even passed, and that's another roamer gone with very little time wasted. The roam game here for Unreal Nightmare seems a little lackluster.
Cutting him down early and taking control of the living room is definitely going to be a good first step. We'll see Spiker. He seems wary of the Ash. Maybe if she's going to try to come up and catch him off guard on the red stairs. Nope. She's just still going to hold this angle from the bottom of the Astro staircase and make sure that the Vigil, if he does choose to rotate, will get caught. You see the IQ? She's just going to peek the floor, remove one of those bandit batteries, and if that pulls, he pulls out that heart detector, he could get spotted out, and so he's going to be a little bit worried. He will now rotate, though, into the back stairs.
Yeah, IQ not exactly near, but Dennis once again going to find that mute. So now Unreal Nightmare have to come back with 2 kills as we're seeing this laundry wall being opened up. And there's still a lot of time on the clock for Team Remedy to really push forward with their attack. All they really have to do, we see a lot of C4s aren't on the board, pulses isn't there, but Spiker being in statuary is possibly going to try to even this man count up as we see that Zofia in walk-in closet, but Lunch is going to take that kill first as he's going to find Hogger, try to find another one, but Dennis on the board with a double kill, claims Spiker, and Lunch, if he can find one here, which he is not going to, he's going to leave Breeze all alone in sight, going to have to try to defend against a 1v4.
Yeah, and it's really not a great spot. We'll see him maybe catch one here as he cuts down the Sophia, though, as Ash is charging on in. It's really not the gunfight you want to be in, and the Ash will win it out. Warrior, he is absolutely on a tear in this matchup, as we see Team Remedy able to claim their 2nd consecutive round, and on Villa, what a great start for them.
Yeah, well, it's actually not the 2nd round for them. We saw Unreal Nightmare take the first one with a great smoke play. Yes,
I'm totally off guard here.
Nah, don't worry. It's going to be very hard to beat my talking about library when we're not even there spiel. But we saw Warrior going on to Warrior, and an Ash kind of frag style player. First person that comes to mind, personally, it might be a little bit biased because I'm a TSM fan, but Merc on Ash, while he hasn't been as good as he was last season by the time of the Invitational, he is absolutely dominant on Ash, and teams sometimes have to target ban that Ash simply because Merc is so deadly with it. And it might be the same with Warrior. He's able to really use that R4C to the best of its abilities, use those Ash grenades to really use some soft destruction, take out utility. We haven't really seen some defensive utility like a Metrocam being used on Unreal yet. But, I mean, the statement still stands. So it's an attacking Ash that is very good is an absolute nightmare for the defensive side. And it's possibly what Team Remedy needs to really win this for them.
I think what's really good about Warrior is how he always tries to take these early gunfights. You know, he's not a slacker. He's not waiting for his team to give him the opportunity once they get that intel to try to go and get an aggressive play. He's just in these positions where you wouldn't expect somebody so early. You know, sitting on the 90 rappel, watching you rotate through gun vault, or, you know, just inside of living room as you're trying to get set up. And while we didn't see Unreal Nightmare attempt a living room extension, it's not like they were completely confident that it was clear. I mean, he just walked in there, so I'm not sure if that's Warrior capitalizing on just a smart play and him being aggressive, or maybe Unreal Nightmare playing a little bit too loosely. We'll have to wait and see. Round number 3 is up next. A hold of Aviator Games could be the round that changes things here. It's hard to say just yet, and honestly, I think this game still has a lot to show us.
We're seeing a really restricted, somewhat roam presence from Unreal Nightmare, and we see exactly why. As for the 3rd round in a row, Warrior is going to find a roamer that's playing off the site, and before a minute has passed. That's 3 rounds in a row. The same person. It's history repeating itself. You think that 3rd time's a charm, but it's not happening here.
Warrior, he just absolutely knows when he needs to do it, what he's got to do. Well, see, Dennis, he's got the G8A1. It's quite a weapon. Unfortunately, though, rotating off at the wrong time. Last game, Dreamy, they've taken a little bit of damage, but it looks like control of 90 might have been secured. So that'll give them a little bit of an advanced position, and I think will allow them... Wow, no, they didn't even try to stay in there. I wonder if that's them being worried about a nitro cell from below, or maybe trying to go for a different play, but removing the presence overall from the 90 corner position is definitely something good for them. What isn't, however, is Warrior going down. A great shot there from the MP5. Might look to make it 2. We'll see the Hibana attempt the engagement just outside on the balcony, but Henry going prone. It's just going to stim himself up, give him that little bit more HP that he needs.
A fight here could really determine where this round goes. We see a lot of members of Team Remedy on lower HP, so they're going to take less damage. They can't take as many firefights. But the Hibana still alive for now, as they're still, I believe, trying to get this wall open if they can find something. But they've yet to enter the site, and there we go. That smoke canister going off diffuser is being collected by Dreamy. We see here a C4 being ripped, and it is going to find no one. But Breeze going to get the man count, but the plant is going to go down, and now Hoggart is by the plant. And now it's just Dennis in a post-plant situation, going to have to defend this from the rest of Unreal Nightmare. He's going to do some damage, but it is going to do nothing, as Unreal Nightmare pretty dominantly win that round. And just some friendly teammate banter there going on, as they're going to defuse this with plenty of time and go up.
You know, you would expect the IQ with a GA to at least take one of those players down, but Lunch, he hit the headshot when he needed to and ultimately secured kind of a chaotic round. It seemed like the offense, they were almost ready and almost had a good position to be able to defend that post plant, but the kills came out, and ultimately that player who planted the diffuser, he didn't really have an exit way and was simply killed behind the map table. With another defensive win, we will be heading to Trophy. This is a site we've seen Unreal Nightmare win previously, so they've got the historical factor on their side. We'll have to wait and see if the opposite team, Team Remedy, are able to switch things up and try to go for the master bedroom take, which I suggested. It might not be the right play. You know, maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe they need to go for an Astra take. Maybe they need to come up from the first floor. I don't know. We'll have to wait, though. Things are getting ready, and the prep phase is up next. So what is your opinion? You know, what do you think went wrong?
I found it very interesting. We were talking, you mentioned how we are getting close. They were getting close to taking 90 hallway, and then they just backed off, and all of a sudden we saw 2 members of Team Remedy go into study. So it seemed like they changed their strat somewhat, or that was their plan from the beginning, to go in, secure that part of Villa, and then just somehow have a split push. But with a person taking down in office, that somewhat fell apart. So I don't know if the plan just did not work. I just found it very interesting that they opted to go for a split push.
Yeah. If they win, maybe we can ask them in the interview. Maybe they'll have some intel on that play. But again, it just seems like Unreal Nightmare, they're running the same strategy. And Team Remedy, while they've looked decent, you need to stop relying on Warrior to pull all the weight for this team. When you have that player who's able to just consistently get the opening kill, and look at this, he's getting that drone out, he's on the window, maybe he's looking to get a 4th opening pick in a row. if you've got somebody who you can count on to consistently, every single time you give him the opportunity, he goes aggressive and he opens it up, what a great advantage to have. And that's just not something we always see.
Oh, but this time the opening pick is not going to go to Warrior. It's going to go to Kaden, who's going to be able to find Lasky. So the Zafia, a big utility and fragging operator, is going to be off the board. And it seems like we can't have a 5v5 for over a minute. Everybody's going down within the first minute. Like, why is that? That doesn't even matter because Lunch is going to find another one. And so now it's up to the rest of Team Remedy, but Augur going to be able to somewhat even that up. Is going to find Lunch, and now we're going to see some sort of attack onto the site as Augur's going to somewhat peek into Master Bedroom.
Dennis seems to have slowed down a little bit. He's inside an Aviator, and it seems that he knows somebody is trying to push him, but nobody is actually inside a gun vault. We can tell that with the X-ray, but making sure that it's clear definitely isn't something you could knock him for. The last thing you want when you're down on the man advantage is to die and suffer more and more attrition. The strong setup for Unreal Nightmare continues to persist, the hold inside of Trophy as well as the extension into Master Bedroom. Looks like we'll get droned out, and the castle barricade on Astro Window removed as well will give the attackers a great sightline. They could possibly even cut off the rotate from Jaeger, who's sitting just behind the Astro desk. The angle still going to be held, but with 45 seconds and a 3-on-4, you kind of need to speed things up here. Dennis getting one on a breeze will suffer. He's not in a great spot inside of Astro, and it's definitely going to need some support from his teammate. We've seen Warrior go huge. The question is, can he do it again with nearly 25 seconds? A plant is attempted, but these positions from the rest of the defense are just way too good. We'll see the peek from Henry. The gas canister will detonate. The plant might even be successful. We'll see it go down, but remember what happened last time. It was a 1-on-3, and they just get cut down. Kaden on the triple kill again with the SMG-11. As Unreal Nightmare, they take round number 4 and put themselves up 3-1.
It was just very interesting seeing Dennis try to wriggle on the floor, get into planting position, and as well as somewhat give you a natural barrier from Sagittary. But it was just very interesting. They had a very different plan than what you expect. We saw Warrior trying to defend the plant, and they were able to get the plant on, sticking it through that smoke canister. But eventually Dennis went down through that, and Warrior just was not able to do enough to really win them that round. It seems that right now Team Remedy seem to be somewhat discommunicated a little bit on these attacks.
Yeah, and I guess that's really one of the only main ways you could describe this. It seems like there's something going wrong from, like, the concept phase. Because we'll see them they're attempting something. I don't know what it is, and it's not working. So, aside from that one round where, I mean, it was kind of just unlucky. They got the opening pick, and okay, so Warrior, we've seen him 3 of 4 rounds, is able to get the opening pick, and when Unreal Nightmare aren't able to respond to that, and they don't really have a consistent fallback strategy, I think that's when we'll see Team Remedy be able to persevere. But we've only had one of those rounds for Team Remedy so far where they're able to just push on, and Unreal Nightmare now responding. They've got 3 rounds. They're in a good spot here. If they're able to collect another one, that would be what we usually expect for Villa. But if Team Remedy are able to get these next 2, I think we could see them do a little bit better. But the problem is, when you don't have a consistent strategy that's working on offense, and your team isn't having a coordinated success because of it, that doesn't look good for when you're going to switch sides, because strategies on defense just matter so much more, especially facing a great team like Unreal Nightmare.
Of course, we're seeing a different type of operator lineup come through, especially on Dining. We're seeing Amir come out, and Lasky this time claiming the opening pick instead of Warrior I feel like a broken record. It's in 30 seconds. The smoke is gone, and that's such an integral operator that's down. Very interesting why Kaden is going to be the one to roaming, because smoke really gains more usage the more time goes on, because the smoke canisters become that much more important. But once again, Team Remedy get the opening pick. but can they capitalize off it? Can they actually secure the round? And only time will tell.
Breeze roaming on the bottom floor. What do you think is different from this attack the last time we saw them go up against the dining room setup? Because even though this time Warrior didn't get his opening pick, Lasky got it. So, I mean, you got that 5v4 nonetheless, and removing this utility as well. We'll have to wait. I keep saying that. Okay, so let's just try to break this down. We've got living room control for the Ashe. Holding the position. Spiker, making sure that nobody pushes in through Memo. And within a minute and 20 seconds, we need to see the attack figure out what the game plan is. Because when I can't figure out what your game plan is, do you know what it is either? I mean, they've got Lasky sitting on flank watch. Warrior is kind of looking like he wants to push through China. Maybe getting this wall open is kind of that step that they're waiting for.
I mean, I wanted to give Remedy the benefit of that. I didn't know what they were doing, so I'm glad that I'm not the only one who believes that. But a fight happened right here, and Lasky's gonna go down as Breeze is gonna make it a 4v4, and is really the only thing that Team Remedy has done utility-wise is break open that laundry wall with the Habana pellets, and now, as I believe Team Remedy, really they're trying to win it on frags. I believe that's their go-to, and Warrior is gonna make a clear example of that. Take it down lunch, but as Spiker claims a double headshot with the UMP and on 20 seconds of Dreamy all the way across the site, he's going to have to somehow get onto site and plan with 3 members of Unreal Nightmare. And Dennis going down, just hiding with a super shorty. It's not really going to last much longer for Dream as Unreal Nightmare looking pretty dominant.
What a play there by the Castle, just sitting in the corner. I mean, the IQ, credit to her, she did check the corner, but unfortunately, it's kind of those situations where you're just checking it to check it, and you're not actually expecting to see somebody. He looked, he turned away, but the Castle shotgun is such a good weapon in those close quarters gunfights, and ultimately it did prevail. With another round for Unreal Nightmare, you mentioned the fact that it seems Team Remedy are trying to play this in some kind of weird frag-heavy lineup, and what cues me into that is the fact that it's Ashe with the R4C, that'll be Warrior, and the IQ G8 for Dennis in every opening engagement. They're not using the intel game to put these players on the opposite team in positions where they're unfavorable. They're just trying to focus, at least catch people off guard. It's like that crouch walking, try to sneak into sight mindset, and it's not getting them the round wins that they need it to.
I mean, at that point, just kind of pick Nook. I mean, if you're gonna commit to it, you gotta commit to it. But I think that's a really good thing to say. Like, I don't want to see Team Remedy is getting lucky, because there is some skill involved. You know, Warrior, we've obviously seen some great opening kills along with Lasky and the remaining members of Team Remedy. But it seems like they're just like, oh, let's hope we run into people, and then we're gonna win that engagement.
Honestly, that's really the only way that I can see it here, and this game is almost kind of frustrating in a way of things, because, you know, we'll see them attempt something, we'll see them try to go for their push, they get the opening pick, but they don't have, you know, the rest of those steps to be able to move further. They don't have the coordination, the lockouts. They did have a little bit of flank watch, but ultimately, when you don't have those rest of your team, or the rest of your team players at the forefront getting everything done for a strong execute, what does it matter that you're covering your flank? Because you're never going to make it onto site, and you're never going to be in a strong post-plant position. And so, to see them do it again and again with no attempt to change relatively anything is the problem. And once we have, you know, the rounds where they're attempting the execute, it just gives Unreal Nightmare more time to suss out how Team Remedy, they like to attack and define and change things. And we'll see exactly that. Last time AVG was attacked, last time the offense came up against this 90 hold, Team Remedy were able to clear it really quick, but now it seems they're slowing down.
Yeah, Unreal Nightmare is really catching on to Team Remedy's kind of style of attack. And I want to go to stats really quickly as we're kind of waiting for this attack to happen. Team Remedy has claimed the opening pick 4 out of the 5 rounds. And then you look at the scoreline, and it is just not in Team Remedy's direction. So you can kind of see that they're just not able to capitalize on the advantages that they're really giving themselves here.
Right, and I think that's kind of the core point of my understanding of this. We haven't seen that opening pick come out, and maybe, maybe what needs to happen is they need to get that opening pick in like the last second, and then they'll be able to build upon it. I don't know. Henry goes down, able to revive himself. However, the kill not confirmed is a big mistake for them, and it's just going to allow Henry to persist on the staircase. Lasky to open things up with the kill onto Spiker. Gives them the 5v4, but on low health, they need to push up because they can't get this plant down. We've got this smoke in play. You saw what happened last time when they tried to go for a sneak plant here without the proper setup, without the proper kills, the angles held, and the players in position.
Yeah, that is a Hibana pellet's going to be taken out. And Hogger, they're just going to try again. Hopefully, they're going to catch that person who's taking out those Hibana pellets. But Kaden has those smoke canisters available. And with about 25 seconds, they're going to be able to deny this. But Hogger is going to make the man count really towards Team Remedy. And claiming another one would be good, but Breeze taking out Warrior. That's really your main fragger down. But now Team Remedy are going to try to get the plant out. We're seeing Dreamy and plant off. And about 2 seconds left, it's going to be able to get it. And they're not going to be able to get it. That's so unfortunate. They were about a minute to milliseconds away, but Dennis is going to be planning this. And with Lunch in Vault, it seems that they're just not going to be able to claim the person planting. And Team Remedy are going to breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief as we're going to go to a little bit of a default 4-2 here.
If you're Team Remedy, you gotta help it. You've dry run this map, you've scrimmed it, and you've got strategies prepared. Because when you give Unreal Nightmare the 4-2, they're only one step away from getting a match point. So if they just start off well on the right foot here for their attacking half, we could easily see them move forward and build upon that. And look at it. We've got the right operator lineup even for their attacks. They've got the buck. They know that it's a dining room defense. The 6th pick, okay, so rip, I guess, for that prediction. The Clash, however, for a dining room hold, I guess justifies itself in defense of washing room, of laundry, but I don't really know what the plan is for that.
Yeah, but the attacks have been a little different than from times what we've usually seen, so it's possible the defenses could. Something like Agoyo is sometimes what we see on Dining Room, not as popular as like Castle, who isn't being played, but still Goyo gets more playtime nonetheless than some other operators, especially with his deployable shield playing like upstairs. You're able to deny that vertical play, but there's no vertical play on Unreal Nightmare. We're seeing something like a Cali, so that possibly means they could be going to take out Laundry with Lunch on the Hibana, because of Cali's lance. So that's the only real reason that I could think of why they would be bringing the Cali on here, when Villa is a little close quarters map.
Team Remedy, we've seen them play it like it's a close quarters map, so you've got that on your side. I mean, they seem to just push and take these. What is Dennis doing? Just wiggling back and forth there. Okay. The Clash rotating. She's going to drop to the first floor, so giving up control of trophy and statue. I guess that's what it'll be. And, I mean, a smart play, I guess, for Team Remedy, but it didn't seem like they really wasted enough time up here. And Kaden cutting down Warrior. What a great pick to start things off. Oh no, you lose your Wamai early in the round, and you're going to really be suffering from that. He did not have enough time to deploy those magnets, and that's the risk you run, putting him first in the engagement.
Yeah, they were putting a lot of betting on Warrior, being that main fragger that's really showing up in the kill feed, but they're going to lose some utility because of that. And sometimes, you just win some, you lose some. And the hope is that Dreamy is really going to make up for it, able to really spot some people. But Lasky, a great shot by Breeze. They're going to down him. But I don't know if they're going to be able to claim that kill. There's nobody nearby to really find the kill onto Laska, but nobody's really there to pick him up either. We seem to Breeze is going to be going for that final takedown with the C75, and there it is. As Unreal Nightmare, they're still going to be flawless in this round as they're hoping to take out the remaining members of Team Remedy.
Opening it up with 2 here, definitely. Oh no, missed opportunity there to take out the Clash. Unfortunate that he switched off the angle. We've got 70 seconds here. The attack, they have the necessary setup. We'll just need to see if the proper execution is ready. The Clash, he tries to peek that angle, but gets staggered by the sniper rifle there from Kali. Habana pushing in further, will attempt the engagement. We could see something go incredibly wrong here, but Hogger, he is going to claim that pick and put Habana to bed. What a shot there with the TCSG.
Yeah, what a great little quick peek, because he's going to get another one, but he is going to go down, and now it's just Dennis with 35 seconds remaining. Diffuser is down, but you still got Caden and Spiker, 2 great guns remaining versus an SMG-11, which has such a tiny mag, but a C4 is going to take out Caden, and now all Dennis has to do, stay alive. Spiker's going to go have to get that Diffuser eventually, and he's just going to rush on into try to win this on frags, and he is. Unreal Nightmare going to start off this attacking split pretty well on a generally close round there with some great play from Dennis.
It honestly looked like that could go either way in the dying seconds of that round because things got so muddled. The 5-on-3 man advantage started to drop, especially with the Cade getting that first kill and the rest of his team trying to contribute. But ultimately, when you've got that Clash, there's only so much you can do. 5v2, and wow, I mean, 1 round away from match point. Maybe Team Remedy's win in the last week is going to be answered back with another loss.
Yeah, they just don't look like they have the power to combat what Unreal Nightmare is really bringing out. It's possible that this new roster, they were just not expecting what they were going to bring. I mean, not many people could have. We haven't seen it before. So this is really just a testing phase possibly for the rest of Cease Cardinal League, and it's a little unfortunate that Team Remedy has to be the guinea pig here.
I guess so. That's a great way to put it. So we saw Unreal Nightmare. They looked great when they were defending Statue with the extension, and it seems that Team Remedy are going to do the same thing. And why wouldn't you? It's just a great strategy. A lot of teams like to implement it, and it's difficult to confront, as we saw evidenced by Team Remedy. They never wanted to push the master bedroom balcony, and that put themselves in a terrible position each round, and they were able to close it out regardless. Or rather, Unreal Nightmare was able to close them out. So if Unreal Nightmare don't come prepared to deal with this, they're going to suffer those same exact issues Team Remedy was so troubled by. And maybe this is, with them spawning Fountain, a site that they are going to do something a little bit different. What I really would like to see is that, oh, what's the name of that video recently? We had like the 9 flashbangs, 2 frag grenades where they just toss in all the utility to the walk-in closet. That's what I'm looking for here. And I think would mark really a clear example of them knowing the proper way to fight against this strategy, and it looks like they will be. Clearing through Study, Aviator Games hadn't helped them, or hadn't helped Team Remedy at all. They lost every single round.
I think I know why you might want those 9 flashbangs, 2 frags. You want to show up on all the R6 highlight channels, you know, Jaeger himself, show up on that thumbnail. I see it.
Yeah, I suppose.
Henry Dash, though, is taking out Warrior again for the 2nd time in the defensive round. You know, Warrior was claiming the kills in this attacking round, but he's just going to be the victim of that. But Hogger very quickly going to get the refrag onto the Habana, a pretty important operator on an attacking side, because Lunch, those Habana pellets have been pretty instrumental in the attack. But, some bullets going to barely go by the head. As there we go, Henry's going to claim another one. He's looking pretty hungry with that AK. But Lasky is going to put a bullet in Breeze, as this is a pretty swift attack coming out from Unreal Nightmare. seeing Unreal Nightmare. Only Spiker left alive. He definitely has the gun to combat this. He's going to shoot Hogger's Unshield, but the bulletproof cam is going to find him out. And oh no, that is where the ADS, you do not want to show up, as that bulletproof cam is just going to really stay there indefinitely, as Spiker can't do anything to get rid of it. And now he's got 2 members. But one thing he does have is he has time on his side. He's got about a minute left to take out the remaining members of Lasky. And that's just not going to happen. Team Remedy, they're going to get up to 3 rounds. So this game is not over yet. Team Remedy is looking to combat this.
Well, Team Remedy, they weren't able to win it on attack, but switching sides, now they will have their success. And ultimately, I mean, maybe that bomb site... Okay, maybe with the attacks, they just can't win it. It's cursed.
I mean, it could be possible. We've seen... You're right. I mean, we just seen Team Remedy just clean up on that site. But now we're going to be going over to Aviator and Games. And this is a site that Remedy has won in the past, and they need to start winning the rounds right now because it is winnable for them. They can still claim those 3 points because Unreal Nightmare does not have 6 rounds won. So this is where you got to get that fire in your belly, because those 3 points are really looking you in the eye. They're calling you out, and you just got to claim it.
The problem is, you mentioned the possibility of 3 rounds or 3 points for Team Remedy if they're able to clutch up here, but Unreal Nightmare, they only really need to get that 1 round. And the problem with getting a tie is that in week 5, it really is not helping you. When you're tied up, you're facing the bottom 2 teams, 9 and 10, I guess 11 and 12, but, getting a tie is just going to put you further and further down. It doesn't help anybody move forward, and that's the real problem here. So, in my hopes, I hope at least one of these teams is able to come out on top, and we don't have to see that 6-6.
Yeah, I mean, it will happen from time to time. Sometimes teams are just so evenly matched that they're really able to play each other so well, and we just see something even. But hopefully we're going to see a team come out victorious tonight. It really could be either one, but Warrior, it just involves Warrior. Somehow, some way, almost every single opening pick has involved Warrior in this match, and it's going to go to lunch again for the second time that lunch is going down first. And that's just unfortunate because Habana is, as I mentioned before, a super integral operator because she's that hard breacher.
Definitely. So Spiker gonna attempt to fight against somebody down the 90 hall. We'll see on the camera there. As shown by Warrior. Lasky is waiting for the Ash to try and peek again, and this is such a close and very dangerous fight. Check out this angle, though, from Hogger. I haven't seen this before. Watching below to make sure nobody comes in through living room into library. That's quite creative.
Yeah, pretty good angle, as that proximity alarm might possibly give Caden's general position away, but no one's really exactly going to capitalize on it. It could be just a really situational cam, but Dennis and Warrior are going to really make this round Remedies, as only the Cali left on balcony, and we possibly might see a run out from Warrior, but that C75 is going to absolutely make sure, as Roy possibly let his ego get the best of him there, as the C75 is definitely not a gun you want to run head first into. So the round is still winnable for Unreal Nightmare. They just got to claim a little bit more kills, but Team Remedy definitely wants to make sure that that does not happen.
Such a close angle there. What a shot! Dreamy again. The TCSG will ring out and earn itself a kill. A close fight there with the Kali will earn the pick, but it's a 3-on-1. When you've got that sniper, it is not going to be favoring you fighting 3 opponents at once, and all that Team Remedy need to do is play this safe. However, the Cade is playing this a little bit too aggressive, trying to take the gunfights with the Cali when he really should just be trying to play it safe. and not give the Kali the one-on-ones, because we've seen in all of these clutch situations, what makes it winnable is the fact that the defense gives them the individual gunfights. But with so little time and without diffuser control, there's really no path to victory here for Breeze, and he's just going to be turning in the wind as he gets cut down by Hogger with the SMG-11. Team Remedy, with 2 rounds in a row here, could look to build a comeback.
If I'm honest, it kind of looked like that Kaid was just playing with Akali there. Just going, oh, you can't hit me. Oh, you can't hit me. Just going back and forth, whipping the knife out. Pretty interesting to see. But Team Remedy, they're looking much better now as they're winning these defensive rounds a lot more decisively than they were winning their attacking rounds. And going down to Dining Room Kitchen, this is the site that Unreal Nightmare did win, however, going after the split. So hopefully some strats have changed. We're seeing a pulse, but that is probably going to be 6 picked onto the Clash again. I ring true of prophecy. And so same operators, but hopefully it's going to really go their way this time.
Dining room repeated once again, and last time we saw it, I mean, what a round that was. It didn't seem like either team really had the necessary control to win it confidently, but in the dying seconds, it seems like every round we've had, it just comes down to the dying seconds and some kind of crazy gunfight or a clutch situation. Last round, though, you mentioned kind of playing with his food there, the Cade. Kali was sort of getting bullied.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about the Kali much. It seems that Breeze sometimes doesn't exactly play her much for the utility, but for that one-shot sniper rifle. And that has actually worked out. Breeze has shown up a little bit more in this split than previously. So, I mean, that's pretty good. If you've played other games that aren't Rainbow Six, you know that if somebody gets good with a sniper, they are just going to wreck you up. They are going to hit shots every day. And Breeze honestly is looking to be that type of player in Siege Cardinaling, because we haven't seen somebody really play Kali for her sniper rifle.
I guess so, and the thing with Kali is when you've got a Thatcher ban, it's almost required to play her, because you can't exist without, that utility. You have to be able to remove it, and so not bringing the Kali can punish you, and Hogger is going to be the one punished. However, in this scenario, he goes down but will be revived on site. Nice work there from Dennis. What a teammate.
Yeah, it's kind of the luck of not having points enabled, just getting down where teammates are going to be able to pick you right back up. As Unreal Nightmare, they're just throwing utility all over the place, trying to find something, but the counter utility being played by Team Remedy, such as those magnets, that Clash Scope, are just going to completely deny everything that Unreal Nightmare is throwing out, and no kills yet, and it's past the first minute, which is crazy for this game. And I spoke extremely too soon, as Unreal Nightmare is going to be able to find Lasky. As Unreal Nightmare, I believe that's one of the 2 rounds they've got this split, that they're getting the opening pick. And look, the shield, it's big. It's not that big, Dreamy. People can shoot your leg.
Much faith.
Yeah, little bit too much faith in the competence, I guess, of Unreal Nightmare.
Okay. Well, the Clash goes down. Oh, another one. A refrag. Nice. Hogger will take down Caden. So 3-on-4. Unreal Nightmare, you guys need to win this round, because if not, you're going to give Team Remedy their 3rd round for the comeback. You're going to give them an even score line, and that just puts them in the closest position as possible to them being able to win this. We'll see Unreal Nightmare answer with another pick onto Team Remedy. So we've got a 2-on-4, and the Kali downing Dennis is something else to build upon. Henry with the assist will confirm that kill and leave this to Hogger, who gets 1. Building the clutch, we'll have to wait and see. 1:03, or it's a 1-on-3. Hogger with another one. He'll need to get the ace clutch here, peeking the Kali, but the SMG, the machine pistol, it's in hands. An Unreal Nightmare winning round number 10. They put themselves on match point, only 1 round away from sealing out this game.
Yeah, honestly, if I wanted anyone right there to come back and clutch that, it was Hogger. Hogger has been nuts on that TCSG-12 single slug shotgun. What really hurt him in the end there was just how low his HP was. And we saw that Kali was only able to just really shoot him with about 1-2 bullets, and he just went down. And I would have loved to see Hogger get the clutch ace there, because that would have been a great storyline to come back, make sure that your team gets those at least 1 point. But now 1 point is all that Team Remy can get, is they're going to have to win these next 2 to secure even a tie. But Unreal Nightmare, they're coming off 2 round wins this split, and this that natural advantage that the defensive side gave them. They're really ahead by 2 rounds. So keeping with everything, we're going back to trophy statuary, which Team Remedy has won before. So things are looking their way statistically.
That's just true. In Unreal Nightmare, they have a tiny bit of cushion. If they lose this next round, they still have another one, another shot, another chance to be able to take the win. But Team Remedy, they aren't in that same position. It's match point for their opponents. And, you know, if they slip up this round, a mistake could be very costly. And it could put themselves in a position where they might not be able to recover from. Unreal Nightmare, they've been a great team in past seasons, but with the new roster, with things trending differently here for Siege Cardinal League, they need to start to move forward. In previous rounds, we've seen Warrior go down early. And the problem with that is when you're trying to hold this east side extension inside a master bedroom, you can't afford to have your Wamai die early. He needs all of that time to be able to build those magnets so that his utility can be fully used and fully extended, so that all of those grenades and flashbangs tossed in are shut down early.
But we're seeing that Kali Lance being used to possibly use vertical destruction, take out something that I believe they're trying to weed out that Mine Walking Closet, who's going to really back up a little bit. But Warrior, we're mentioning Warrior a lot, who in this split really hasn't shown up as much. I mean, the opening pick, of course, but I think Warrior is a lot better suited on that attacking Ash than really something like a Wamai. And it's possible something like that might hurt Team Remedy, but other members have stepped up in this split.
Take a look at, we got all these flashbangs detonating. Maybe we will make the highlight videos after all. You can see the explosive detonate and remove the Evil Eye from the master bedroom as Caden creeps through the kitchen. Lasky might look to confront him. However, if they're able to shut down the Zofia before she's used her utility, before she's able to execute all of that, how helpful that would be for them. 1 minute and 10 seconds. Lasky is playing this incredibly slow and careful, and it might be Caden. Is he aware? We'll see him move on through the Zofia. She's got her back turned, but Lasky continues to play it safe. The Zofia spotted, and the headshot for the Jaeger player. The opening pick here will put Unreal Nightmare on the back foot, and they need to start moving forward, respond, and that's not what's happening. Warrior cutting down Breeze will continue to build the man advantage in Team Remedy's favor. I know I mentioned that Unreal Nightmare, they've got the cushion, but you can't give up these rounds, because one more and it could be goners for them. Henry able to claim one, shuts down Warrior, who was forced to rotate, I believe. Dreamy's got that UMP. Does he have the gun skill to make it work is the question we seek to answer with 20 seconds left.
Spiker evening that man count, but time is on Team Remedy's side. Lunch is still going to be able to put that lunchbox diffuser down, as Maestro is just going to claim the head of Spiker along with Henry. Now it's just Lunch against the world, who's got 3 members of Team Remedy to go up against in such little time, and it's just not going to happen, as we are going to go to that last round, round 12. We're either going to walk away with a draw or an Unreal Nightmare win here.
I mentioned the Villa. It's one of those maps that tends to go all the way, and that's exactly what has happened. Round 12, the lead is in the favor of Unreal Nightmare. The draw is still possible, but that's not what you want. I mentioned before about the situation with the standings, but Team Remedy, they've just got to fight. They've got to fight to draw this match and start their comeback in the rest of the season's games, because if not, if you continue to take losses, to take draws, it's just going to put your team in a terrible position, and you're going to continue to fall and stumble further lower in the standings.
Yeah, to be honest, I really would love to see more of this Unreal Nightmare roster on a different map. I want to see more play from them on different maps, because it's hard to blame them on a map such as Villa, like you mentioned, that just will go all the way. And it really plays onto that utility. And we've seen Team Remedy rely a lot more on that utility the second time around. Not so much, but still a little bit more than that attacking round. So I really want to see Unreal Nightmare, possibly more attacking side, whether they're just weaker on that side or it's just the map, working in their general direction. So this is the time where you can really prove the naysayers, say this new Unreal Nightmare roster has the time to show up and win their matches.
If Unreal Nightmare can win this, maybe this is what they need, a little bit of a burst of momentum in order to win more games in the future. But enough talk about the macro side of things. We're down to the nitty-gritty, the final round for Villa, our first game of the night. It's going to be hold inside a study. We've got this strategy here with the shield, the Electro Claw, and the reinforcement. I always like to see this one. Looks like some of that utility, however, will be wasted. A flashbang able to make it through the breach, but another magnet will be placed down. And so any of that utility could get removed, and this could be a real problem. If they're not able to take control of study, we might see Unreal Nightmare stall out in their final offensive round.
Yeah, it seems that the plans are changing. We only are going to see lunch in that kind of study take, and there's a lot of defenders and utility in study. We're seeing that Electrica, that shield, the magnet, the ADS, but now that vertical play is going to take out everything. That Team Remedy really had planned. They're going to take out the shield, couldn't able to take out that Electro Claw, but they're just hunting for the most famed prize of all, the Wamai. They're getting close to it. As Wamai is going to do some damage to the Astroth 4C, and now Warrior is in trouble, laying on that electrified hash, his real only place of solace. And he has nowhere to go, and there we go, put out of his misery. Henry Dash is going to put that opening pick on board, but a lot of time wasted. So good job on Warrior, but another engagement happening in 90. It's between Lasky and Henry, but Lasky is going to try to run away, and he's going to get away, but and that time, Spiker is able to find Dreamy, and now Goyo Shield's being burned. Smoke canister is going to start being used, and now it's the time where we're just going to see that Team Remedy are just going to have to waste this.
49 seconds, the pick comes out, one for Spiker, one for Breeze, and all of a sudden, Unreal Nightmare! They are victorious, they take round number 12, and all 3 points go their favor. What a final pick by Spiker. He closes the angle and hits the shot with the R4C, a 7-5 win on Villa.
That last round was really just a beatdown. We saw a different type of strategy come out from Team Remedy, that Wamai in the corner, and that just did not work out. I could feel the panic that Warrior was having, but a great job from Unreal Nightmare really to just clean it up, have a really strong last round. And that last round was pretty friggin' defiant. It looked like nothing we had really seen before in the game. And I just wish we could have saw more of that.
Yeah, unfortunate that there was no overtime, but Unreal Nightmare, in their hour of need, they were able to finally close things out. But we're not done yet. Not only do we have another map for you tonight, we've also got an interview with one of our victors. Welcome to the casting booth, Spiker, and congratulations on your victory tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So I wanted to start off and ask you, what was going on early in the game, because it seemed like some of the offensive setups for your opponents just were not going their way. It seemed that every opportunity, aside from a couple of those early rounds, things were falling apart. And I wanted to ask to get to understand how your team was achieving that. How were you able to stall things out and take rounds on the defense?
Well, so we're really good at like kind of like controlling the pace of the game and adapting to what they're all doing. So we kind of figured out where their initial push is coming from and just like kind of adapted our positions based on that. So we just like adapted where we were playing, adapted where our utility is, and all of that just to so they had to do as much as they possibly could to burn in. They just at the end of the round they just couldn't do that.
So, what was going on with the opening picks? Because it seemed like for a ton of the first half's rounds, every single time Team Remedy was just able to open things up, but it didn't always translate into round wins. What was going on that led to that, and how was your team able to overcome it?
So luckily most of the time it was just me dying first and I didn't really have that much utility left. So we still had most of our utility and most usually we wasted a good amount of time so we could come back and achieve it not that hard. And you know, we always just have a level mindset. So even if like one of us makes some mistakes and goes down early, we always come back and we always just try our best to win the rounds.
So, taking this win is definitely going to give your team a great boost. How do you plan to improve your record and push forward, maybe with a shot at playoffs still in mind?
Well, so I just joined this team like a couple days ago. I'm still on trial, so it's really gonna and also our coach was playing today. So it's really gonna help it's really gonna help once we get like a solid fifth and we can all like understand each other better and have really good chemistry, which will definitely come with time and will definitely become the really strong team once we get all that done.
Okay, well, that's great to hear. And I didn't even know you guys had a coach in it. You seem to play just fine. So, congrats again on your victory. Light Rose, do you have any questions to ask?
Not really.
All right, well, Spiker, do you have anything to say to your fans, to everyone watching before we go ahead and head us off to a break?
No, thanks for supporting us. Thanks for getting us to win that community poll. Really gave us the boost that we needed, and you'll see more to come.
For sure. Again, congrats. Have a good night, and I look forward to seeing your team continue to succeed.
Yeah, thanks. Have fun with the rest of the season.
Sure. All right. That about wraps things up for our first map. Make sure to stick around. We've got a great game for our second match of the night. It will be InControlNation versus Troll Team 6, two of the top teams in our league. And this is certainly going to be an exciting one. Troll Team are an impressive roster. They're very consistent and InControlNation with their new pickups. The changes that they've made seem to be on an unstoppable roll of momentum. Stick around for that match just after this short break.
right, welcome back to our second map of the evening. And today we have a real barn burner, or at least it should be. We've got Troll Team 6 versus InControlNation. Now, these teams are at the top of the standings. InControlNation #1, Troll Team 6 #2. This is going to be a map for the ages, and it is going to be on Oregon, the most recent map added to the Pro League map pool. So both these teams we might see on it for the very first time, and it is going to be very interesting. Sticula had to go, so with me this time around it's me, Matt.
How's it going, Light?
It's going great. I'm so excited to cast this game. As we see the maps, we should be going on to the stats now. Going on to the team stats, we see InControlNation. Now they have some new players. We don't see Mello. We're going to see Kojin is very recent, but obviously the Sherbulin. But the members that we do know, Yusuke, Bone, Mello, these are players that are just Siege Cardinal League legends. I mean, Bone is the hard carry he got. I mean, look at that rating, look at that KD. It's a nightmare for the rest of anybody else. And yeah, we are going to see Sherbulin and exactly 0 stats for anybody for him. But now we're going to go on to Troll Team 6's stats.
Yeah, if we look on the other side, for Troll Team, you have Derek. Loading Vert is a new acquisition. Nicolo, Rhyme, and Taylor. So definitely people you want to watch out for is your Derek on the support in IGL. And also, you would want to look out for Nicolo. He's got that high KD overall rating. And his cost, well, we don't take that into account for this quite yet, but definitely going to be a good matchup. So without further ado, let's hop right into this game, because I don't know about you, Light Rose, but I am very excited to see exactly how this one unfolds.
Oh yes, InControlNation, they're getting a little bit of a newer roster, and in Troll Team 6, they want to overtake InControl because they don't have a loss yet. They drew it last week, so that's their only draw that they have, and that means that a win here would see them overtake InControl as top of the standings. Now we see Oregon, which, I mean, what can we really expect on Oregon? We don't see this map. We haven't seen this map very much because it's so new.
Yeah, definitely. Oregon is definitely one of those maps that you want to look out for when you're kind of looking at team strategies and compositions. So going into the ban phase, not wasting any time or deliberation, I think we're probably going to see a Thatcher here because he is so powerful. No, it's actually going to be a Nomad. And what do you think about the Nomad ban here? Because personally, I don't know if this is the ideal operator you want to ban for attack on Oregon.
Well, I mean, Nomad is a generally strong operator. She's just has such a strong ability to deny that roam game. She's so much better than any other operator, that including something like a Gridlock or a Jackal. So that's why you could see her being banned. And now we're seeing that Capitao, who, we've seen a little bit more. We saw it last map. He's so good at driving out stagnant defenders who just want to stand in one area after all those ADSs are burned. So taking him off the board InControl, just really don't want that anywhere near their defensive strat.
Yeah, and to follow it up, you're going to see Valkyrie banned as well. And I like the interesting bans coming out here, but I think the Valkyrie ban was almost a little bit of a target ban towards InControlNation, but they don't have Defiance on their team, so the interesting runouts will not be happening. But Echo's going to be your last standard ban here, and Echo's really powerful in the current meta, so you have to watch out for that. But I think the Nomad ban is going to play a little bit of an interesting part. You also have Thatcher and Maverick still on the board, especially for an Oregon map like this. It should be a good game to watch.
Yeah, and now we're seeing what kind of operators, what kind of site that really InControlNation are going to want to go to. And they're going to start off with a pretty popular site. We're going to start off on dorms and kids' dorms with a typical operator lineup. We see the Jaeger, Wamai, Utility Burn, Smoke Meister. very typical lineup.
Yeah, and when you see the Wamai and Jaeger combination, it's just really the utility burn meta. So definitely bringing a lot of stuns and flash bangs are going to be very helpful there. But you're going to see Sledge 6 to a Thatcher, and I think a Thatcher is going to be a very high pick rate for this entire match, considering he's still on the board. He's one of the must-pick operators to help to complement your hard breachers when it comes down to pushing in towards site.
Yeah, usually that bandit could be for closet. You know, the Thatcher is really just able to take out those bandit batteries very quickly. We could see that on long hallway. I'm still trying to remember all the callouts since, you know, they've changed somewhat. So I apologize if I kind of get them wrong. But, you know, right where we see the members of In Control on that second floor, possibly we could see where Derek would get the most use out of those thermite charges along with loadings, EMPs. But did you see Thatcher's rework of his EMPs?
Yeah, I did on the test server, play around with it just a little bit before I decided to uninstall the test server because it was actually ruining my Rainbow Six Siege game when I tried to launch it originally, so I don't want that to happen. I'd rather be able to play the normal game. But yeah, I was playing around with it a little bit, and I think it's definitely a major nerf to him because he has almost a 100% ban rate in ranked because he is so powerful in the current meta. So definitely need to watch out for that, and it will be very interesting to see that. But sure, I'm going to be taking some shots down towards Rhyme, who is the Ash trying to sneak up the back stairs. He's also got somebody on the window outside of Big Tower near the east side, so that could prove to be very detrimental to this push here. But GXD is going to be holding strong. But no, Nicolo is going to open it up here as Yusuke will fall, but Sherb on the refrag will find Derek. Still 4v4 and very manageable for both sides at this moment. Rhyme's going to still be outside of construction after he got lit up from below Big Tower. He's going to rotate all the way towards Garage. You have Thatcher, the loading vert, outside of Master Bedroom. He drones one out, and it will be his teammate Nicolo inside of Trophy Room, wasting no time at all, trying to get closer to the site right here. A little bit of friendly fire here on the Thatcher grenade that is detonated just a little bit, but the drones are coming out just to stop the flanks and get a little bit more intel. Have your dead guy on this drone here. It's not a bad idea, because then you don't have to sacrifice a player back where the flank could come from. Minute 30 left here, and we're still seeing a 4v4 situation, and the attackers of Troll Team have some real estate to their name, but not as much as they could.
Yeah, and with Derek going down, luckily you still have a hard breacher, but that could possibly change how you want to attack this site. You know, that Habana doesn't exactly have as much power at opening walls that the Thermite does, but we heard those X-Kairos going off, and about a minute left. You still have about even man count, and now we're seeing Nicolo find Bone, who really is so good at finding frags later in the round, down. So now In Control, being a man down, they still have those smoke canisters available, 2 left to really waste amount of time. But Nicolo hiding on these wet stairs, wanting to find Sherb in that B side, gonna start using those impacts, but unluckily they're just gonna look away the time that Sherb does peek that, and hiding behind the bomb. Sherb's gonna find one, but loading as well, and now it's an even man count as it's just the grenade duo against Taylor, and GXD is gonna find the remaining 2 frags to allow InControlNation to win the first round.
That's an interesting play here for Troll Team to try and push into site. It was really a last-ditch effort, and you didn't wait till the last 20 seconds, so it really came down to how well this team could push into site and establish those crossfires, and they really didn't do that, and that is why InControlNation won that round. They held strong and were very dedicated to the angles they were holding, so definitely a good round for InControlNation, as we are going to see them jump down into basement, and I see a clash here shown from Kojin, and it looks like he will be stuck, and Oryx will be 6th from a Jaeger.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you want to do, but Oryx, that's really a big change in utility, going from a Jaeger to an Oryx. You're going from a person who has almost a 90% pick rate, if we look at the recent charts that Ubisoft gave us, to someone who's got a lot less.
Oh, a lot less? Just a lot less. No, no, not a big deal at all.
I mean, we could see it work out, possibly. I don't know. They want the human impact himself.
I like your optimism here, but you switched off of Jaeger, okay? Jaeger for Oryx.
Thank you. I can see it on my screen. It's still mentally processing in my mind that In Control would do that. But I imagine a team such as InControlNation that I'm hoping it's intentional. Hoping.
Me as well, but it's really just gonna come down to how well he can effectively roam. He is 3-0 right now. He got 3 kills, triple one on the Jaeger last round. So to not go back to the Jaeger there, just a little bit surprising, but I can't complain anymore. They don't have any ADS or grenade denial operators on the defensive side, and with the utility burn meta being so powerful in the current stages, you really have to watch out for that. And Sherb's going to be barricading himself down in the security corridor. We might want to keep an eye on this guy because he's an absolute madman when it comes to trying to make plays. Niccolo, though, going to be outside of main entrance, trying to get a push going, and Taylor's going to be droning him in. It looks like it's going to be a push on blue, but Kojin's already got one in his crosshairs with the clash, zapping him up a lot. Is going to be Derek the Dad. He is trying to hold this push here. Yana hologram is going to be deployed, though, and Clash will not have to deal with that. Cherub's going to be trying to rotate back to help this Clash, but it's a really awkward position.
I think I know why Sherb went onto the Oryx. It was to flex that MP5 Black Ice skin. That must be it.
I mean, I think it's a really weird reason for somebody to do that, but it's the only logical one that I could think of as well in that sense. But, you know, MP5 is still an MP5, and he does have a lot of fragging potential, but he just doesn't bring enough to the team for him to be a viable pick in competitive gameplay, just like Caveira. So you really have to be careful. But loading, spotting out the Vigil, knows that he is inside of Kitchen. He's not going to waste any time trying to dispatch of him, but GXD is holding the cross on this doorway here. Run out from Niccolo, though, will find Bone. It's actually be Sherb on the run out. Excuse me, we will find loading, but Niccolo in the cross was able to eliminate Bone. So still a 4v4, and the immediate refrags are prevalent. But we saw Sherb run out with the Oryx. He was actually able to get a kill with it. So he's been able to do work thus far on the round. He's not rendered completely useless, but you do have Rhyme, I'm not entirely sure, on Laundry Stairs with Yana's hologram. He's gonna get shot, though, just as it starts to expire. Yusuke is holding behind that deployable shield in Laundry. 55 seconds left, still a 4v4, and we don't have a lot of real estate to troll team's name. So they're gonna have to make a desperate push down towards Freezer, and Yusuke sees it from behind the deployable shield. They're breaching the wall, and Rhyme is going to be moving up through Freezer on the crate. Gonna deploy one of her charges with the Yana hologram, and now 34 seconds left in the clock, still a 4v4. They have to make something happen here. Sure, I'm gonna be holding the angle, but it's gonna be Niccolo getting choked out by the Toxic Babes, and this is why you don't wait till the last 20 seconds to push in.
Yeah, now those Toxic Babes are really going to start doing some damage to you, especially as time goes down. And oh no, nobody's on the flank watch, but suddenly the Habana is able to point out GXD, and all backs are turned to the mute. Oh no, he's just going to jump down. He's going to find one. Derek finds a team kill, and that massacre on the stairs.
I don't even know. I think massacre is a little bit of an understatement here. Absolute domination here from InControlNation. The plays down main stairs just don't work out, and you weren't watching your flank, and you paid the price because GXD, well, he's got an SMG-11 and a big thing full of buckshot. He will eliminate you, and that's exactly what happened there. And I guess the Oryx play worked.
Yeah, the funny thing about that was just in that whole mess, you know, we see GXD claim some kills with the shotgun. We just see Derek finding a team kill in that mess, and it would just contributed to how much of a dominance. It just looked absolutely silly, really, right there for Troll Team 6. We just all bunched up, nobody was watching the flank, and just 3 bodies stacked up on those white stairs. And we might see more of this because In Control look in control of this game right now.
Little bit, and it is a little bit still early to tell. It is only defense on this map that does play a little bit of a factor when it comes to trying to push site. Oregon is not an easy one for attackers to handle. You really have to have a lot of teamwork and coordination, whereas the defense can kind of run around and get a lot of frags by just playing as themselves. Thus, I think is why the Oryx was picked, other than the Black Ice skin flex. I hate to break it to you. Yusuke is going to be reinforcing attic here, as it is a kitchen and meeting, or dining hold, excuse me. And that's not necessarily a bad idea. You do want to try and cut off as many roaches as possible, but we do see... is Kojin lagging out? I think I just saw him lag out. He was walking in place for a little bit. Oh, no, we're good. Okay, we're good. We're good. I'm seeing things, and I'm also imagining or hallucinating. So we are going to see Kojin, though, in small tower with the Clash, and he will be trying to hold that by himself. He doesn't really have anybody to help back him up here. Nicolo is going to be outside of the window, though, trying to spray in and get a little bit of damage off onto the Clash, or maybe even a distraction. And we do have Raimi already inside of small tower above, still trying to get some kind of pick here, but they have the hatches open in attic, and they are going to try and cut as many rotates off as possible. Kojin, though, really playing with this Flash super aggressive here, and he's got to be very careful, though, because he could get killed from above.
Seems Troll Team 6's attack is really focused on trying to root out this class. We're seeing loading with the sledge up above, because that where the Clash is playing is where Troll Team 6 wants to attack. They have to get rid of that Clash. Kojin on that Clash is just being an absolute nightmare, and GXD and the remaining members of In Control that are on second floor really don't have any bearing on the attack of Troll Team 6. It's right now, it seems to be Kojin against Troll Team. And frags are going out, utility trying to be wasted, but it seems that they're not really being used well.
Yeah, you really want to try and use as much utility as possible. Kojin's going to zap somebody to death. It's going to be Derek, your thermite, off the board. Nicolo will find the frag onto Yusuke, though. And there are the Toxic Babes being detonated, and Kojin doing absolute work with this Clash in L hallway by bathroom. The wall is opened up, though, and Nicolo knows that. He has to be careful and watch for all the crossfires the defenders could have on him at this moment. Though, he's got a couple of lifelines left that he can work with and utilize in order to get the optimal positioning, though. Rhyme's going to try and push up here, but Taylor is on that Clash like a hawk, but Rhyme's going to get the crossfire on him and eliminate the Clash. So that's a little bit of utility burned there, but GXD will use the SMG-11 from above. Kids Dorms Hatch will find loading. We'll see if they can get a plant down here, and they are in position for that, but the Nitro Cell is going to ring out. It will get shot, though, over Sherb, will die to Taylor, though. And now it's going to be all up to Bone and GXD. With 20 seconds left, GXD's taking some shots from above, and Nicolo has to be super careful here and watch out from above the drop. The plant's coming down from Taylor as the Yana, and Bone has to try and get some kind of angle here. GXD's going to push up, but the drop shot from Rhyme will find him. It's all up to Bone. He's at the top of the hatch. There's not too much he can do here. He's going to have to drop down and try and contest as many angles as possible. The pre-fires from the attackers, though, and Bone's location is now known, and Rhyme will finish it off. Troll Team get around, and they much needed one at that.
Seemed like Troll Team really didn't have it earlier in the round. We saw them struggling to deal with the Clash, but as they started to attack on the site, they were able to deal with the Clash with about a minute 15 left, and then allowed them to enact what they had planned from the beginning. They had enough time to plan it out, and it really worked out there. They were able to get their first round on the board. And as we go back to dorms, hopefully we don't see the same thing happen where we just see the guns of InControlNation really ring true. They're able to really do whatever they want on dorms.
Yeah, and when you look at all of the different things that happened that last round, it really came down to good execution by Troll Team. They were able to dispatch the Clash really effectively, take control of Dining Site, get that wall open, and really utilize the bathroom rotates to their advantage to try and flush the defenders out. That top floor hold from InControlNation didn't really play too much of a factor because the attackers didn't even bother to try and take the attic side or the dorm's top floor. So, speaking of dorms, it's going to be the site for InControlNation as we find ourselves up 2-1. Deficits cut by just 1. So we'll see if Troll Team can continue on the momentum that they have had most of this time and, most of last round and build on it this time. So we'll see if that does play a factor.
Yeah, last time we were on this site, we saw a big presence in Big Tower, and right now it seems to be no different. We're seeing the same Maestro Cam being placed, and we're seeing that Grenade Duo really holding up with those ADSs, with those magnets. And if Troll Team 6 want to use the same strategy that they did, which right now none of them spawned in near there, so we could see a different strat, and that big tower hold just doesn't really amount to anything.
That's a good point to make, because holding Big Tower only does so much, but Niccolo gonna open things up here, finding Yusuke. That's your Maestro off the board, and your late game utility a little bit less effective now. Only his cameras can spot instead of actually be utilized as the turrets that they are. Derek's gonna open up Dorm's wall, though, and that will give them a little bit more of an advantage to push in and maybe get a quick plant off. But he knows that there's a bandit close to the top of White Stairs, and Loading's got a grenade in hand, but the ADS might intercept it here. And I think it does. No, it doesn't. It will detonate, but not do any damage. Maybe Bone gets caught just a little bit, but GXD sitting very well off in sight with Kojin, but as I say that, he's going to drop down into kitchen and dining, and that is good coordination and teamwork, as he's going to rotate all the way down to security corridor by Z. It's going to be Sherb, though, fully blind inside of Attic, and he knows that their breach is open.
Yeah, guns trained on where these attackers are going to come from. Many drones spotting out the position of the members of InControlNation. So now we're just waiting it out to see where Troll Team 6 are going to execute, when they're going to execute, because they're just putting so many drones out. They want to know where the info is, and Niccolo is just going to dealt some damage with those bandit batteries. Not much, but enough to really warrant him to back off. And oh, the head is going to be spotted by GXD. Patience in the classroom is going to amount to a kill. As Diffuser goes down, it's going to be picked up by Rhyme, and he's just going to be a lot more cautious, as he knows that that Wamai is holding out under him. But Taylor, a great job in communicating exactly where GXD was holding. And now that's going to allow members of Troll Team to really move forward, because they're just using so many drones. They were patient, and they have so many more. And with the time that they're giving themselves, they're able to use that time to drone off. But as Taylor is going to rotate to default plant, he's going to be down. But Niccolo is going to find a refrag, and now we might see the plant go down by Rhyme.
Yeah, with 18 seconds left, they're going to have to move quick. Loading's going to find a kill on a Kojin, and Bone will be finished off by Niccolo. The attackers of Troll Team 6 win another consecutive round here, tying it up 2-2, as we're about 2 rounds away from the split. And I got to hand it to Troll Team. They are doing an absolutely fantastic job of clearing out the roamers and the bottom floor presence, and they're using it to their advantage. Once they clear that, they use that intel to realize that there's not many people left on site. They push in, find their locations, and win their ones. And ultimately, that's how you play on Oregon. You have to use the intel that you're given very wisely, and if you don't, it's just not going to pay dividends to your success.
Going back to the exact same set, we're seeing a 6-pick off the Maestro. So my guess is that we're not going to see a big tower hold, because a lot of utility was placed into Big Tower, multiple ADSs, multiple magnets, and therefore, when it was time for Troll Team 6 to attack on the site, there was nothing to really deny flashbangs, deny anything utility that they were using. So with a Mozzie this time around instead of a Maestro, I'm hoping that they're really going to try to deny those drones, because as I mentioned, drones were a huge part in last round. There were so many that Troll Team 6 had, and they were just able to utilize them. And as we call for a rehost, we possibly are going to have to go there. So
just waiting on admin approval, and once that happens, we will... And we have admin approval, so we will rehost, and we'll catch you guys back in just a second.
All right, welcome back between Troll Team 6 and InControlNation. If we took a break due to rehost, but we are back, and it is 2-2 currently. And right now, we should be going back to dorms because that was the site that was chosen before the rehost. And dorms was the last site that we played in round 4, in which we saw Troll Team 6 win it. What can really be changed for InControlNation to win this round 5 like they did the first round?
I mean, there are a lot of things that they could have done a lot different, and in my opinion, I think that what InControlNation needs to do differently in order to win this round is that they need to be able to really capitalize on the miscues of the attackers. They really weren't able to do that the first time, and it showed. That's how they lost.
Yeah, Mira, I believe the rules are you gotta play the operators that you did last time because the round has started. You gotta play the same site, everything like that, you know. So we're seeing the Clash, the Mozzie Jaeger, and I believe those were the operators playing the last time. And you know, coach, we're seeing the excuses come out for the rehost. Bathroom breaks, you know. Stay hydrated. He was drinking too much water. That's why.
I mean, they went the same operators they did the first time, so, you know, I can't really get mad at them for that, but, you know, if they're in the bathroom, they can do their own stuff. I don't really care about that. But what I do care about is that the score is 2-2, and both of these teams are almost equally matched in the sense that a lot of these players know how a competitive style of siege works. For example, what you most likely will see here is a very organized team push by Troll Team through Big Tower or Dorm Side. The first time we saw was a Dorm Side take, and it worked. But I doubt it will work the second time because they're not going to do it a second time.
I mean, we're seeing a different type of play from Sherb and GXD. We're not seeing them being played in the Big Tower. Sherb's playing in Armory, Bones playing in Dining. There's a lot of roamer-oriented operators on the side of InControl. Clash going to be locating some operators on the attacking side. We're seeing that Thermite is opening up that attic wall, but they don't have a Cali on Troll Team 6, so they were able to deal with the Clash this time. So they opted not to bring a Cali, who's one of the biggest counters to Clash, simply because she could just shoot him. But Sherb is going to see the head of Niccolo and take it clean off, giving the opening pick to InControlNation.
Do you see this coordination right here from GXD and Kojin? Using Kojin, the Clash, as a moving Mira shield. And should you have the correct coordination here, this could be absolutely brilliant plays here from both sides. The pre-fires are coming out and the Wamai discs are being thrown. Looks like they're going to pull off, and right now we have Bone playing below inside of Dining. Frag grenade's going to ring out though, and Loading's going to detonate it. And the Wamai's gadgets aren't going to grab it quite yet, but he's rotated towards half wall. The pre-fires are coming out, but he is under a lot of duress here as the Ash getting shocked by Clash's shield. And right now, Troll Team is not in a very good position. You've lost one of your entry fraggers early on without doing any damage or utility burn to any of the defenders here. Minute left to play, and we're in a 5v4 situation favoring InControlNation.
Once again, that Clash is just proving to be a little bit of a nightmare for Troll Team 6. They're just not able to deal with it, and as that those X-Kairos are going to try to just open up another pathway. Taylor, go for it again, please. I beg you. I'd love to see it, but Yuseke is going to daily, and Rhyme is just going to make it even worse with Loading, but he's going to make up for that by taking out GXD. He's going to try to encroach on this Clash, which is going to have to back off, but InControl still have the advantage as Rhyme is getting close to being taken down simply by the Clash's Electrified, as he's about maybe 10 HP, and oh no, one more will do it, and there we go. We are seeing Rhyme taken down along with Derek, and now it's just Taylor who's going to have to somehow find 4 kills. I doubt that's going to happen, and it is not, as Kojin's going to find the last frag.
Outstanding play from Clash coming out here from Kojin. Nobody has done it better so far in Siege Cardinal League than Kojin, and I don't believe that's an understatement. He plays so well with the current meta in the sense that he can slow down these heavy aggressive attacks. His team plays behind him so well in the sense that it's almost unbeatable. And with the current utility burn meta, you burn all the utilities such as frag grenades, stun grenades, smoke grenades. There's no way to get rid of Clash right now. You can have a Zofia try and concuss her, but realistically, the only way to get rid of Clash is to hit her with a Kali. And that's what you're going to see Taylor 6 the Tabana for. And I don't think that's a terrible idea. You got to try and get something going. This Clash is really messing with you. The only other way you can take out a Clash is to try and shoot her vertically, whether that's from above or from below. You need to establish multiple crossfires, and right now, InControlNation is running rampant over you with this Clash. It is absolutely playing a mental factor for Troll Team 6. What I want to see Troll Team do, work together more as a team, try and push this Clash. Don't have just one person as the Ashe, try and push it up. Because, as you saw, all of the shocks basically took her down in terms of HP. She took a little bit of damage from the Wamai, but when you're that low HP and Kojin continuously zaps you and slows you down, it doesn't even count that somebody needs to swing out and try and finish you. It just comes down to the execution of your teammates and how well they can put damage down for you to finish them off as the Clash, because there's no counter to that zap grenade. You can't really go any operator to counter that. Every operator will be affected by Clash's zaps.
And aptly said, opting for that Kali is really the only way that they can try to attack this, because where the Clash is playing, there's not exactly a good vertical position to play, especially in last round. The attic, it's just, you got that metal floor, metal roof, that window, and there's no way to shoot the Clash. So Kojin is hoping to be a thorn in the side of Troll Team 6. Taylor wants to make sure that that does not happen, but where the Clash is playing could be a serious key factor, and where Troll Team 6 wants this attack to happen could dictate the round, as we're seeing a real north side take, possibly from construction, possibly from white stairs, and we still have yet to see the execution come through.
Yeah, and right now, Kojin's doing a good job at trying to hold this blue push, but Nicolo is going to find GXD, and that will be the guy playing Pillar Dead. So that will allow Troll Team to push up and get a little bit more real estate, but Yusuke is going to fall back towards Freezer right now and hold these long angles with the SMG 11, or the Sniper 11, as sometimes I like to call it, because it can take your head off even if you have an ACOG holding an angle. It is just that powerful in this game. So Rhyme's going to be at the top of rear stage as the Ashe, and she is going to be trying to watch for a flank here, and Kojin and Bone are both going to be holding inside of the site. Barricade's going to get ripped down, though, by the main door by Sherb. He's actually going to barricade it back up. Not going to bother to do the other one, though. Wall's going to get detonated by Jay, though, and that could prove to be a huge issue here. But still have the Clash holding strong, and Bone and Sherb are holding crossfires to try and support the Clash here. Minute left, and it's a effective 4v5, but Troll Team has the man advantage with GXD off the board.
Opening of the wall could benefit Troll Team 6 immensely, taking out that Clash. And Yusuke gonna go very low, trying to put out that smoke canister, but the Kali gonna be able to take out Sherb. And now it's a 3v5. Kojin's still alive, gonna try to deny the plant, which hasn't even been attempted to put down by Derek. But as Bone and Rhymer are gonna frag, it's now only Bone left, as Derek is gonna be putting that diffuser down. There we go, we are starting to see Troll Team 6 win it out, and they're gonna even this up 3-3, pretty even score-wise and match-wise.
Absolutely. Outstanding job from Troll Team to get the cross on the Clash and really mess with this mentality. They had 3 people stacked behind that Clash of Sherb and Bone. Now, they weren't intimidated. The Clash was in their face, but the Kali kept her aim very steady and was able to use her long-range sniper to get the nice shot off onto the smoke of Sherb. So, when you look at how that round played out, it was a good push, but it really came down to GXD falling on that pillar hold here. Once you lose pillar on a blue push, that just gives so much momentum to the attackers. And once they get control of J and blue bunker, it's not a good look, especially when the wall is beginning to open up on both sides. You need to be very careful as a defender trying to rotate, because chances are you'll get shot from an angle. You'll be like, wait, he could see me there?
Yeah, being creative and opening up unconventional angles can make you an extremely dangerous threat and can really propel your team, because the most creative angles are the ones that we see really benefit the most. In vertical, we see vertical plays with smoke mute able to really bend the floor to their will, hold long angles with the SMG-11. And I mean, in Siege, sometimes the sky's the limit, and hope to see more of that.
I do want to mention one key operator that has not been picked at all this game, and that is Maverick. Maverick brings a lot of utility to your team in terms of trying to push top floor or even blue bunker, because making those tiny holes really cuts defenders' rotations. And if you have good team communication and good setup for your attack and execute, you could really do a lot of damage. So I'm very confused as to why a Maverick has not even been brought once in this map, considering he's almost a must-pick, in my opinion, for this certain style of attack that both of these teams have tried to execute. Kojin wasting no time as the Thermite opening up attic wall. No wall denial will be even attempted for these two teams. Kojin going to be throwing some flashbangs out, trying to burn through these ADSs, and there go a lot of them too. You see the white indicators, they are everywhere, and Wamai has to be really careful holding these deployable shields. There is another ADS intercepting yet another piece of projectile.
Yeah, Wamai is so good at holding angles like these with the deployable shield, which we just saw was taken out with magnets that refill over time. With help of ADSs, he's just able to waste so much time and burn so much utility from the offense. It's why sometimes that he gets banned, and he's going to get banned from life there, as he's going to get taken out by Kojin. And that's going to allow InControl to really push up as Yusuke finds Raimi. And now we could possibly see a really steamroll here, or snowball, as the rest of InControl is going to push forward. We see some split as Loading is going to claim the mute. And now it's just Smoke and Maestro have utility. On their side is Nicolo is going to claim 2, but he's going to go down. And now it's just Taylor in a 1v3. He has the SMG-11. He's going to find one. He's going to bring out the shotgun, but that doesn't matter as Bone taking out Taylor, and InControl going to lead this split in the first round.
And a snowball effect was definitely what you saw there. Once the first two defenders went down for Troll Team, InControlNation really just moved in through attic and just did not have any fear when it came to trying to challenge any of these defenders' positions. They made him uncomfortable on site, and you could see that. The Maestro was able to pick off 2 before he went down, but I think that's only because they had no idea he was there. But once he started to let the LMG start to spray, it kind of gave away his location. He was swiftly taken out. Now, on the other hand, Taylor did a okay job given the situation and the angles he had to hold. He was able to eliminate 1, but getting pushed from the rotate hole and the wall behind him. So nothing you could really do there if you were Taylor, but a valiant effort. We're going to see InControlNation take a 1-point lead over Troll Team, 4-3 here. And when you look at exactly how that last round played out, are you going to expect to see the same thing again this round? Considering that Troll Team opted to go for this top floor hold, I don't expect to see the Wamai in attic again, just because it was so ineffective at trying to stop this push. He got killed very early, so I don't think it was really a good waste of time or operator utility in that sense.
See, I disagree. I think that they're going to try the exact same thing and hope that it goes in the direction. You know, sometimes you make a mistake. Sometimes you just got to change some things around. And I hope that Derek is going to try that. We do see the ADSs in attic. We're seeing the mute jammers. But, I mean, in the end, you might be right. We don't see Derek going anywhere near Attic using that deployable shield. Instead, we're seeing somewhat of a trophy room hold coming out from Rhymi. I don't know. There's so many ways that you can say their name. Which one is the right one?
You could just call him Rye in the sense.
Yeah.
But it's definitely very difficult to pronounce names, especially when there's numbers in it too. Oh, but that's an L. No, it's an I. Wait, what? I don't know. It could be Rymel. It could be Rymel for all we know, because it's a 1, and 1s could be an L or an I or a Y for all I care. Anyway, getting back to the actual gameplay, Nicolo's going to be speaking out with the Alda. Ooh, almost lands his shots onto Bone, but he does. Bone will be down quite a bit of HP, but he's going to rotate all the way over towards main entrance balcony outside of Betterman. He is going to get a stature grenade detonated, though, on the wall, and that should allow Kojin to try and open up the wall here. Toxic Babes are ringing out, though, out by Big Tower, and it looks like Loading is going to be alone on this hold there. Bone, even though he has a sliver of HP, will find the kill onto the Jaeger. So now, if you're InControlNation, it's going to be a 4v4 now, as GXD will be eliminated via Loading on that deployable shield inside a trophy. He's going to swing out, though, but Yusuke is going to swiftly take him out there, now making it a 4v3 advantage for InControl. But that being said, Hibana is going to try and do a little bit of damage here to the hold inside of Attic, but going to be Taylor falling back. Nicolo has the Alda in hand, and you know how dangerous that this weapon can be. And in this certain situation, when there's multiple attackers, pushing in through one angle, that Alda can be absolutely detrimental. Gonna be some sprays through the reinforcement here. A nice shot from Bone will take out Nicolo. So even though he's at a sliver of HP, he will not be eliminated. Multiple bodies fall as Taylor and Derek will find Sherb and Bone, respectively. It's all up to Derek and Taylor versus Kojin now, as Yusuke will be eliminated via the Wamai. It's all on Kojin's shoulders. 30 seconds left. He's got to try and make something happen here. He's going to have to push up close, though, and make a play. We are going to see Taylor hold the angle and Derek, respectively, also holding the cross. 15 seconds left, and we know he's got to try and do something, but it's going to be Derek finishing him off here. He's going to find 3 on the round for him, and Troll Team will tie it back up 4-4.
This is such an even, well, teabag in the end there. But as I was saying, this is such an even match. It's going back and forth. We saw InControl start out the game super strong, only to have Troll Team back it up with 2 more rounds of their own. And so after that, it's just been back and forth. And it's so hard to see which team truly is better. It seems that each team is taking advantage of the other's mistakes. They're winning their gunfights about 50-50, and it's so hard to see which team will come out on top. And it's very easy to predict a draw here simply because how even these teams look.
I don't know if you caught that, but I believe that one of the players of InControlNation 6 to Goyo. So, I'm sorry, not InControl. It'll be Troll Team. So, Goyo will be taken here. And for a basement hold, you have a Wamai and a Jaeger, so you'll definitely see that utility burn inside of Jay. But what do you think about the Goyo play here? We don't see him too often in competitive gameplay, and I can't tell if they brought him just for the TCSG and Nitro Cell, or if his gadget's actually going to play a useful part into the strategy that Troll Team has developed here for the basement hold.
Goyo could be, played near doorways, wanting to lock down hallways, like as we see, Derek on the Wamai. But with nerf to his gadget a while back, he's definitely gotten a decrease in competitive play. He doesn't have as many areas to deny. He doesn't have as many deployable shields for operators to really hide behind. But he's still got a C4. He's still, once again, got area denial gadget and a place for defenders to hide behind. So that's still why he still gets played. And we see Derek hiding behind this Goyo shield and blue bunker. He's got really 2 deployable shields. He's got that one that he's going to be able to shoot in case attackers really walk into, and another one to back up to.
Yeah, and I think that's what Goyo shields are best at. They're only good to use in terms of support. You can't actually hide behind them, or really, you will die. So that will deny a little bit of area for them, and I like the kind of strategy they have established here inside of J. We have Derek playing the spot behind the deployable shield in J. That Goyo shield was detonated, though. Taylor trying to contest Sherb on the back stairs. Really difficult position here as Yusuke is going to rotate upstairs, try and get these hatches open. It's really just going to come down to who has the better reaction time here. The pre-fire comes out from Sherb, though, and a shot will be exchanged from Taylor on their behalf.
Yeah, now we're seeing the walls trying to get open up, but the mute is going to really deny that. Thatcher's going to be having to take out that mute jammer, and now walls is being breached, and C4 being thrown out, and oh no, the body of Sherb is just going to fly out as the opening goes to Troll, and Kojin is going to be down as well by the Aldo, but GXT going to be able to find the refrag, and now it's an even man count of 3v3. All health is the same, but Diffuser not in Troll Team's hand. They're going to have to go get that, but there's so many members of the defense just watching that.
Yeah, and right now, InControlNation's in a really difficult spot. They can try and go for a plant here, but defenders are so close that it might not be possible. Though, Bone's going to be trying to get this plant down. The pre-fires are coming out. Multiple bodies fall. It will be Rhyme, and the refrag onto Yusuke will be from Derek, though. 2v2 situation now as the pre-fires are coming out from both sides. Bone will find his second of the round. Finishing him off is Taylor, though, onto GXD. It's now a 1v1 between Bone and Taylor. Taylor is going to find himself all the way back in blue bunker, now rotating towards pillar. Bone knows that, and he's going to be inside of laundry hallway. The pre-fires are coming out from both sides. Bone's on a sliver of HP, and the term against that one shot from the TCSU will end him, but the pre-fire from Bone will find Taylor. InControlNation will win it.
I mean, that's about as close as you could get. We saw that trade come out. Bone just taken down. That Diffuser would have won that anyway if we saw Bone knock it down. So, I mean, I'm glad that we got to see that 1v1 between these two members. You know, Bone is such a great fragger, get put on the Thatcher. He's still deadly with the L85, and Taylor has had a really good day so far that we've seen. And in the end, it was once again evenly matched, just like this match. And we see InControl possibly come through, and they're one round away from match point and securing a point.
Yeah, and that was a really good round when it came down to how executing that attack worked for InControlNation. They were able to get the plant down in the sense that once it did go down, they kind of capitalized on the defense having to retake site. In that case, the defenders became the attackers. And from what we saw on the other side of the coin, we saw that the attackers of Troll Team were pretty good, but when you switch sides that quickly, it just does not become an easy task for defenders to try and get rid of that diffuser. So, when it boils down to it, you're going to see this J-hold again from Derek because it worked the first time. It stalled a lot of time, but they really need to keep that guy on pillar and not let them walk in. Now, that's where that deployable shield from, I believe that's Ella, will be playing on the pillar stairs. I'm sorry, the pillar itself. And that is going to prove, really, it's going to come down to if InControlNation gets control of pillar. If they don't, it's going to be a win for Troll Team, in my opinion. Pillar is one of those crucial turning points in a round where if you get control of that and secure the control, it will just be way easier to push towards site and way harder for attackers to try and get something going.
Shot's going to be fired at Niccolo, but and no harm, no foul. He's just going to be able to heal himself up. But now Loading Vert going to be holding in Boiler. Utility still being used by the attack to try to clear every magnet, every ADS that is deployed in that area. But as the magnet is just going to be used once again, they're still just going to have to try to burn it out. But Niccolo going to be able to find the first frag onto GXD. And that's the first step into evening the score once again. But that hard breach is going to start to be used to open up some of these hard walls but that Clash is still in your way. You're going to have to try to take her out as Nicolo is going to go down. And now it's a 4v4. Some shots gonna be fired onto Rhyme. Gonna escape with his life, but no Doc gonna be there to heal him up. Still a lot of time on the clock for InControl to bring this into their domain, but Troll Team 6 just have to sit back and wait for the attackers to really push forward, as utility is still starting to be wasted. They're still trying to get rid of these cams, get rid of these barbed wires. That's just what this meta is right now. Just having to get rid of everything that these defenders put down. And now as that 60-second timer starts ticking down, here's where this attack is going to start going forward. We have to see this Clash being dealt with, because she is really the thorn in your attack.
Yeah, with 45 seconds left in a 4v5 situation, Rhyme is going to be on a sliver of HP, trying to hide behind the Clash here and the deployable shield. Derek's going to find Kojin, though, and that will be your thermite off the bird. Sure, gonna find multiple bodies falling. Taylor, Rhyme, and Derek, the victims of that. Loading going to be the last one alive on the Clash. He's going to have to make a play here. Only a little bit of time left, and it will be Yusuke finishing it off here. InControlNation guarantee themselves a point. We'll see if they can finish it out here, or if Troll Team can push for a tie. What did you see that round that was really beneficial, and why InControlNation won? In my opinion, it came down to them taking control of J rather early, flushing out that Wamai, and pushing through Pillar. Not even trying to get a plant, but just utilizing the crossfires of the holes in the wall for him.
Yeah, pushing those defenders back, opening up these hard walls. It's just, eventually you gain control of site. You're going to push that Clash back, push the Wamai back, as you mentioned. And so eventually that is when it's going to allow you to win the round. And I'm glad that Troll Team are not going to basement, because right now InControl just are on a 2-round win streak, which we haven't seen since the beginning of the game. So InControl being on match point and having that 2-round lead, they're looking to really be the favorites to push this out and get those 3 points that will really secure them this first point spot, because Troll Team are just so close in point differential.
Yeah, and right now, Troll Team needs to throw everything in the kitchen sink at InControl. I'm sorry, Troll Team needs to throw everything in the kitchen sink at InControlNation in order to try and get this tie back up. They are actually in the kitchen, and I do think that's kind of funny, but they do have to throw everything at them, whether that be a Clash. They are bringing the Goyo again, and we saw it work the first time, so will it work a second time? Didn't see him downstairs, so we will figure out if this hold here is going to be beneficial to Troll Team. So I think that a top floor hold to try and secure a little bit of time will be a little bit harder to do compared to how they've held basement. It's really just been a turtle strategy for basement, so going to kitchen and dining is really going to shake up how they are going to hold the site.
We're seeing a very heavy second floor roam coming out here. We're seeing that castle coming out, a lot of operators being on that floor, but the attackers are already starting to use their utility, as GXC is going to find Derek, and Ryan just looks so unprepared, super startled that these attackers are here so quickly, and now he's just going to have to back off somewhat. He's still holding somewhat presence in Attic, but definitely not as aggressive as he was.
Yeah, that's a huge blow for Troll Team, and that is your castle off the board and one of your important players. So when you look at exactly how they plan to hold the rest of this, it looks like they are going to try for a more fortified strategy. That being said, InControlNation is above them and starting to wreak havoc. The shotgun is going to ring out from Taylor, though, and GXD will be the victim that he finds. Trying to hold these vertical angles is something that a lot of attackers don't really expect. When you look at exactly how InControlNation is playing this, it's really just come down to a lot of aggressive plays, and if they don't work out, they still try and do it again. Sherb's going to be using his breaching charge from above, try and flush a little bit of space for Kojin to get this wall open, and he will do that. He is going to open up the wall, though, and now a couple of crossfires might be established. Spray through the wall here might be able to find the Jaeger, but Niccolo is above and will find a kill on the Sherb. Yusuke gets a refrag, though, and Rhyme will be the victim there. 3v3 as we hit the 55-second mark.
Yeah, and now that plant's starting to go down. Kojin still a lot of time, but that doesn't matter. They just want to get this plant down now. And as Taylor is in the site, C4 gonna be thrown out, gonna do nothing. But that plant is down, and now we're in a post-plant situation. It is a 2v2, so it's very easy for InControl to win this, especially with loading off the board. It's now Taylor and SMG11, and he's going to back down the freezer. He's going to activate the smoke canister. He's going to have to back up onto that first floor, but he's so far away from the diffuser, and so many members of InControl are just in such a good position to take out Taylor. He's going to fire it at a drone, and he's going to be pinged out. So little time left and so little life left as InControl go on a 3-round streak to win it 7-4 on Oregon.
Yeah, and you really kind of saw this coming once the momentum shifted in favor of InControlNation. Once they kind of figured out the style that Troll Team 6 was doing to hold their defensive sites, it really just came down to execution on the side of InControlNation, and it was almost flawless. They got the opening frag almost every round, and that could be seen from a mile away. Not sure if we have an interview waiting quite yet, and hopefully we will get a little bit of insight into how that game played out for InControlNation.
Yeah, once we saw the Troll Team go onto that basement side, it was really lights out from there. The 3-round streak, which we hadn't seen at all so far, really just came through. And now we got Yusuke in the interview.
What's up, guys?
Oh, I thought you were gonna speak light.
You
Welcome
got it.
welcome to the casting booth, Yusuke. How are we doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
I'm not doing too bad myself. I guess I'll start things off here. First of all, congratulations on your win today. This is a big one in the books for you. I just have a couple of questions for you. The first one being, how did you guys prepare for this match tonight? Was it really just a lot of the same kind of preparation you guys do from week to week, or was it more of just a go with the flow, adapt on the fly to how they were playing?
For us, it was just mostly, adapting on the fly, just figuring out how they play and just coordinating how to adapt to that kind of defense or push.
One other question I have is the Oryx pick. Can you walk me through the reasoning to 6 off of a Jaeger that offers a bundle of utility instead of a Oryx?
I think just bringing the Oryx, especially with how my teammates play, which is like kind of aggressive and just roaming a lot. I feel like the Oryx can bring out a lot more opportunities with how hatches and stuff are played in Oregon. So I felt like switching off the Jaeger to an Oryx would, I don't know, somehow throw them off a bit.
All right, well, I don't have any more questions. Light, do you have any other questions for Yusuke?
I just did any of the roster changes kind of throw off anything for you?
Not really. We're actually blending pretty well, I must say.
Well, that's definitely good for a team. You're doing super strong in Seas Cardinal League, and some other teams could say that with a roster change you could possibly get knocked down a few pegs, but it really doesn't seem like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Yusuke, for showing up in the interview here. You had a great, really momentum in the end there, and we're able to win it out there. Thank you for showing up.
Thank you for having me on the show. Yep.
All right. Well, that is going to be it for us tonight. We saw in the first match tonight, we saw Team Remedy versus Unreal Nightmare and come out to an Unreal Nightmare victory. And then in the most recent one, we saw trying to find whatever I have on my notepad here. We saw InControlNation versus Troll Team 6 come out with InControlNation winning it out. And so, Matt, what a great night. Do you have anything else to say?
GG's to both teams. They played their hearts out, and it was a really enjoyable match to cast. Definitely going into the next few weeks, these teams do have a little bit to work on. But Troll Team, got to keep your head up, guys. It's just one loss in the long slew of matches down the road, and you guys are playing very strong, so you just got to keep your head up, and you will be fine. InControlNation, congratulations on your win tonight. You guys deserve it. Maybe go party up a little bit. I don't know what teams do after they win a league match like this, but definitely enjoyable, and I don't really have much else to say.
So thank you, everybody, showing up tonight, getting those nice R6 laid back Friday night. And I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thank you for tuning in.